you can hear me and see me okay. Actually, I set up this little setup for you about an hour ago, and I didn't realise that I'd accidentally hit record. So it's actually been recording here in an hour, and I didn't even realise. But I've come back and obviously I've stopped it and I've started again, because that wouldn't be a very interesting video, would it? It's quite eventful actually trying to get set up, because I haven't actually got a lot of room in this space here where I sit to do these videos in front of my cutting table, and I've had to get these two in to show you what I've two of the things I've made, and because I've had to like scoot through, I've managed to cut my knee. I think there's a hem bit that sticks out on the dress form, and it must have a sharp bit underneath, and I looked and my knee was just pouring with blood, so I've actually got it taped up with happy birthday washi tape with a cotton pad at the moment, and so I can't show you because I've put some leggings on over it, but actually this is probably the fourth time I've got changed today. It's quite embarrassing. I've got up this morning, put something on. I got dressed all nice for the day in my new top and some nice shorts. Had a photograph taken, and I planned on staying in those, and I was going to come and do this video wearing those, but then I thought, oh, I'm going to get a bit messed up, because it was getting to lunchtime, and I thought, oh, I don't really want to be making food and everything. So I got changed, and it was quite hot in the kitchen, and I actually put on this dress. You've seen that I made this dress. You saw it on my dress form, like you saw it on Daisy in my previous video, and I've had a photograph in this now. So the blog that will be attached to this, even though I haven't at this present moment while filming, I haven't wrote it. A photograph of me actually wearing this will be in the blog post, which will be in the description box below. Like I say, at this present moment while I'm filming, I haven't done it, but by the time you see it, the blog will be there. So so I put that on just for a bit of comfort, because it was hot, and then I came in here to do the video, and I was freezing, even though it's like 21 degrees outside. It's quite cool in this room, so I've had to get changed again, and you think, oh gosh, I've really dressed down now, and like I will admit, in some of my videos, like some of the t-shirts are my own, but some of them are actually my son's. I don't like steal them off them, but they grow out of them, and sometimes they're in really good condition, and I'm quite a resourceful person, and I just think all around the house and whatever. So this is actually a hand. Now it's funny, it's a hand-me-down t-shirt, but my son's hand them down to me now, because you know I'm not one. Well, actually my youngest son, he isn't bigger than me yet, but we're very similar height, so yes, even he's handed t-shirts that look a bit snug on him, but actually they look okay on me, because I'm a lady, and you know, like with things look okay, a bit more fitted. So anyway, why am I here today? I'll probably, like, if you haven't seen me before, I haven't even introduced myself. I'm Claire. I like to blog about things I've made. I like to tell you what things that I might be making, and I do the odd tutorial. It's mainly sewing chat, what I'm making and what I'm going to make, but there's the odd little making thing along the way. So there's 5 things I've made since I've last done a video, and I've brought this to you a bit quicker, because my videos are usually quite long, because I do talk a lot. So I've kind of brought this one forward with only 5 makes to try and keep the video shorter, but we'll see how that goes. You know, please don't tell me off if it doesn't work out that way. So what I've wrote some notes, so I thought I'd mention National Sewing Machine Day. We've had that, haven't we? And I know some businesses are like celebrating that all week, so if you haven't got a sewing machine, it might be worth looking around and seeing what deals, because there are lots of businesses are all competing against each other to sell you a sewing machine. So you know, keep an eye out for that. I'm not in the market for one, but you know, but you might be. So what is the first thing I've wrote a note of? So I've written it about I've had a photo in the dress. I've told you about that. Right, I told you in a previous video I was planning on making a mouse, and I've made it, and it's so cute. I said it was a sewing themed one. I apologise now actually. My husband had a delivery of timber out the front, and he's currently getting it round the back, and he's making a lot of racket, so it's probably not the most ideal time to do a video, but you know, when you're all ready and psyched and you think, right, I'm going to do it now. Anyway, so here is my mouse. She is adorable. Like, I have put photographs on my social media, and I will put the photographs on the blog as well. And basically she's Pinny Minnie, and inside her base there's a magnet, and there's a magnet on the bobbin, and she sits quite nicely on there, so you can tip her up like that. And her purpose is this: you make this roll that goes around, and basically the centre of the flower is a pin, and you roll it out, and this is felt, and you can store hand sewing needles in it. And the reason I decided to make this, one is because I fell in love with it when I saw it, and two, because I generally do my hand sewing in another room when I do a lot of my red work and things. I keep a lot of my hand sewing needles there, like the ones that are really to hand. Like, I've always got hand sewing needles in one of these drawers, but you know, when you just want to grab one quickly, and so I have her by my sewing machine, so I've always got like a decent hand stitching needle, so that I really love. And right, what I'll say about her, I did buy her as a kit, but I didn't end up using all the materials that was in the kit. Now, I don't like to say anything negative really about anybody and their kits and things, and the other things in it, I was very happy with it and the quality and things, but I wasn't overly keen in the fabric that was in the kit for the actual mouse. And I couldn't remember what print I'd ordered, but I didn't like the print that came, so I've used my own fabrics for the mouse, because I like the colour of all of those. I tried to pick something purple because the felt that came with the kit was purple, so, and the fabric that came in the kit was also had purple in it, so I tried to keep with that thing. Now, on the picture, on the pattern, actually I'll show you on the box because there might not be any there. That was the box that it came in. Now, I know those are pink colours, but I really like the tone of the fabric they've used, and I really like the print. Now, I think I did know I wasn't getting pink, but I just didn't like what I got, and my mouse colour, it was very pale, and in all honesty, I didn't like it, so that's why I decided to use my own things. But I'm still very happy. Like, I've got those that little bit of fabric for something else if I wanted it, and you know, and that little bit of mouse fabric for something else. But for this, I wanted I wanted to choose my own colours. So so that was that, and the designer of that is Michelle Goodfield. And I have made something of Michelle's before, actually. Actually, I'm glad sometimes to get these videos done, because I hold on to these things often to show you, and then once I've done the video, I can get rid of them, can't I? I keep the patterns, but you know, all the boxes and things. So I have made something of Michelle's before, and it was actually this dog, and I named him Thimble Dog. I think his proper name was Bobbin, but I called him Thimble, and that's him in the patchwork. And with that kit, I did use all the materials that were provided, and I was very happy with those. So that's two makes of Michelle's. I was aware of Michelle's work before. I had seen it, but I didn't know whose work it was. It's in a bear, and I have since purchased another kit that I will be making, so watch this space. I don't know how soon that's going to be, but that will be on the agenda at some point. So I'm just thinking, I'll just get my pencil, actually, sorry. So I'll cross those out. So that's my mouse on the bobbin, And I love that bobbin, do you? That's gorgeous, isn't it? So pincushion, I have made something Mandy sure, and I know I said in not my So Hayley Jane video, but the video before, that I think I was done with catching up with the Mandy makes I'd got ready for the Secret Society, which is starting this month, but I haven't received my parcel yet. But I did make something Mandy. I think what it is, I was tidying things around, because I do tidy up between each project, and I'd already cut the fabric out, and I remember what happened now. I think my husband decided he wanted to have a little bit of play on his DJ decks, and it was a bit it was in the evening, and I was feeling a bit like tired, and I thought I'll psych myself up for sewing something. So I tried to psych myself up for sewing this pincushion, and I have to cut it out. I looked at the instructions, I just didn't have the motivation to read it, I'm ashamed to say. But I think I ended up sitting upstairs doing some red work, so I did get something done. Because what it is, when my husband's busy, I try to make the most of that time to come in here if I've got some free time. But things like red work and things, I can sit with him and do it. So I think, well, if he's busy and occupied, I'll come in here. But sometimes I might be just too tired. I might have already been in here, or I'm just too tired. But so that's what happened with that. But anyway, so I ended up making it, and actually, because I'd already done the cutting out, everything I did, I managed to do sitting next to him. I just had to nip and get like the glue gun and things to glue the button on the bottom. But here it is. It's a Mandy Shaw pincushion. It's a bit like a pumpkin style one. So and I've tried to keep it complementary with the red and put a couple of red pins in a heart one and a dot. I think those are by Prim, those red heart pins, and you do hot glue that on the bottom. There's a button, so that sits quite nicely, and you've got a little, like you could hang it, couldn't you? But yeah, I really like that. That's not the first time I've made that style of thing. I've made pumpkins at Halloween before in orange fabric, in that style, so it wasn't new to me making something like that. But yeah, but that's really lovely, because a lot of my sewing bits and bobs are in the Mandy, the red colours and things, so that goes really nicely with my little sewing things, so that's lovely. So that's that. Right, this is a make I've wanted to do for ages, and I've said to the designer, oh, I'm going to be doing this hat, because the designer, Fiona Hensford, and is that Stephanie's name, isn't it? Because her business name is Sew Girl, and I do follow her on Instagram, and she does follow me. She's lovely because she comments on my things, and this is the hat. I downloaded it. I think it was on, I don't think I got it through the Sewing Court. I think I downloaded it off her Etsy. But those are all the pieces for the hat. You can't really see those, can you? It's not important, is it? And Fiona made hers in a nice pink colour. And so I just decided to do mine in a plain grey, and it was this like wool mix fabric. Actually, I've got a story. Oh, you think, oh no, not another story. Get on with it. Oh, sorry about this. Do you know I made I did a free motion bee on a bag. Well, I was going to do another bag the same size but with something else on. And I cut my fabric out for the future, and here it is. And can you see that? I don't know if you can actually. Oh, let me get that. Can you see that corner missing? That's my husband. He wasn't in my best books yesterday, actually. I don't have a bad word to say about him, do I? I'm always singing his praises, but he came in here and decided he wanted a little bit of fabric, and he cut that out the corner, and I showed, and he told me he'd done something. I said, well, what have you used? He said it was a bit of scrap. It was on your table, and I was thinking, oh no, what has he done? And I came in, I was like, no, I've cut that out to size. And he goes, well, can't you just make it a bit smaller? And I said, look, it doesn't really work out like that, because I know placements for my embroidery and handles and all this kind of thing. So it's totally a redesign just because of that bit. And he's like, oh, I'll get you another piece of fabric. But he doesn't have to get me another piece of fabric because I have got some more. So yeah, so I'm going to be making something else with that now. So yeah, because he's cut out that bit, and it's not even a straight, it's not even an even corner, it's all skewy. So yeah, so never mind. But I bought quite a bit of this. It's a wool mix, a wool felt mix, and actually, and it was very cheap, but I don't know how much wool is actually in it. But made up as a bag, it looked really quite expensive looking, and I've actually made the hat in it. So here it is. Now I know the designer in me would like to think, oh, I'll do a different lining, I'll do a bit of this, I'll do a bit of embroidery, but I just decided I'm just going to make the hat bog standard and make it all in the same fabric. I can see a little thread sticking out there actually, and here it is. Oh, shall I try it on? Right, don't laugh at me. There is a photograph of me in it. So yeah, so what do you think? But my middle son has absolutely fallen in love with this hat, and he wants one. Like, I would have let him have this if he really wanted it, but he wants a navy blue one because he wants to go as this character, because he does costume play, and he does wear a military hat, so it's perfect really. Because I think if I hadn't have got this pattern that made a hat and then he'd have showed me this character, I might have felt a bit daunted of thinking, oh, how am I going to get a hat like that or whatever. So yeah, and now I can make military hats. So it's not the first hat I've made. I've made a number of knitted and crochet hats, but sewn hats I made myself and all my boys and my husband bobble hats before, with plaits and things, reversible hats. And I made everybody luxury Christmas hats. And actually, I did have an accident when I was making the Christmas hats. I was on the final hat. This was years ago, one Christmas. I was on the final hat, my own hat, and I was just sewing up the bobble, and I was kind of doing that under the machine, and the machine sewed my finger, but it just went.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Oh, sorry, that's serious, and I didn't get that. Can you try again? Anyway,
it's no problem.
Oh, okay, it's no problem. Can you hear? I don't know if you can hear that. Sorry, I don't need you, Siri, but thank you for the help. And I got the machine made a funny noise, and it went into lockdown and it wouldn't move. And I kind of went into shock, and I was stuck to the machine. I know this is a terrible story, isn't it? I should be trying to inspire people to sew. And look, I've only sewed my finger once, and it really wasn't that bad. But I was stuck to the machine, and so I tried to undo the needle. Do you know when you're not thinking straight, when you're kind of in shock? And I'd called for help and nobody came. And I was undone the needle, and I was still stuck to it. It just wouldn't come out. So once I sort of calmed down a little bit, all I had to do was turn the hand wheel. But because I'd undone the needle, when I turned the hand wheel up and the machine lifted up, the needle was left in there. However, if I'd have left it screwed up, it would have pulled the needle out, wouldn't it? So there I am. So I can see this needle, it going through my nail into my finger, and I lifted it up, and it had gone all the way through my finger and out. It was sticking out quite far, and I thought, oh, look, I can't say I was in pain. It felt numb, but I just felt sick, and I thought, oh gosh, I can't pull it out. So I put my hand behind my back, and I walked into the kitchen, and I said to my husband, I said, I've had an accident. I said, please don't freak out, but I'm going to show you something. It's pretty disgusting, but I want you to pull it out. And I got my finger, and I showed him, and he went, whoa, and he says, I'm not touching that. He said, I'm not touching it, I'm taking you to hospital. So he took me to hospital, and I had to sit there A&E, and it was what didn't hurt just sitting there, but you know, if like it caught anything, it really hurt then, like catching things. And I got really shocked, and I thought, I can't believe I'm like, basically I'm impaled to this needle and they're making me sit here. Anyway, because when you go to the desk, they say, what have you done? I said, I sewed my finger. And they said, oh yes, sit down. And I don't think they really like took me seriously. And anyway, I went up to the desk and I said, excuse me, how long do you think it's going to be? Because I said, I'm in a lot of pain. I said, I showed them, they were like, oh, they were all like, oh no. And they got me straight through. And so they got, and actually I'm glad I kind of went through, because obviously the longer it would stay there, the harder it's going to be to get out, because it starts to heal around it, doesn't it? So the two nurses, they were a bit grossed out, but they actually gave me gas and air, and I thought, oh, I'd have been brave, I'd have just said, just go for it. But and they got something, and they yanked it out, and I had the gas and air. So yeah, so that was quite interesting actually. But I know it sounded horrendous, but it really wasn't that bad. So it, you know, so and the chance, you know, it's very unlikely you're going to sew your finger. It was because I was being mindless and careless. Just if you're careful, and I can't say I'm always mindful when I'm sewing and things. I'm kind of dude, and I've only sewed my finger once, haven't I? So don't panic and don't let it put you off. And you know, just don't go too close. You know, I was just doing this because it was a circle, and maybe if I'd have just been going, but I was kind of just doing that, and it's my own fault, isn't it? So no, don't let it put you off sewing. I wasn't even planning on talking to you about that, but as we were talking about hats, I might actually leave this on, because if I take it off now, I'm going to have hat hair, aren't I? It'll be all over the place. I might do anyway. I'll see how warm I get. Anyway, dressmaking. Right, what do I want to say? I have made 2 Ogden camis, finally, and you think, where on earth have you been if you've not made an Ogden cami already? For some people have made loads of these and have been making them for ages. Like, I don't know when the pattern was actually released, but I've finally done it. And I did tell you in another video that what kind of give me the final push to do it is Guthrie and Garney has got a sewing society, and she was selling a box that you got everything you needed. In the box that I had, you could choose different fabrics. I chose this one, and what else did you get? You got a pack of sewing needles. You got, I did put them on here. You got a make to measure card, so you can put like your measurements and things on it, and some notes and things you'd do next time and whatever. And that was some prim needles. You got some, I think it's called form tape, which she did say in the video what you get. And also, I can't understand her accent, so I don't know what it is. She sells it. I think it's called form tape. It's just for, it's basically you put it on instead of stay stitching. But I'll tell you something about that actually. But later on, and how I got on with that. And you also get these labels. Now and it says made by me with G&G, so Guthrie and Garney, the shop. And I didn't actually use it. Well, if you've watched my previous videos, you'll know I have sensitivity issues and I don't really do labels. But actually, so Hayley Jane, she gave me a lovely idea. You can put them in, like, you see them on the outside like that. Sometimes it's a bit of a decorative thing. So that is something I will think about. I didn't do it this time, but I will use it in something. And I think that was everything I got in it. And oh, the pattern, the Ogden cami pattern. Now, I knew before I made this wasn't going to do anything for me, for my shape, because I find if I fit something to bust, it ends up being all big here, and I end up looking like I'm wearing a 10 measurement basically. So I knew straight away I would put a bust dart in. Now I've said in previous videos that I always, now you should not do this, you shouldn't do it, but this is what I normally do, but I didn't do this time. When I get my body measurements, I do my under bust measurements, get my overall I do my, my hip, my waist and things, but for my bust I do that measurement, and then I measure my bust and I do a full bust adjustment based on that measurement, and I get quite a big bust dart, and it looks quite nice. It can look, some things quite dramatic actually, and I quite like it. But I thought I'm going to be a good girl and I'm going to do it properly. So I did my over the bust measurement and then my bust measurement. And I always do it if I'm going to wear a bra, I'll always put the bra that I intend to wear. And there was only a small difference really. So I only ended up with a very small bust dart, which is fine. But I think it probably would have worked better if I'd have done what I normally do, because I do feel like I was left with a very big top, but I think that it is very floaty. Anyway, so the first one I made, I didn't use the fabric that I got in the box. I used my So Hayley Jane fabric, and you might be able to see actually that one is sitting a little bit wider than that one. There are a couple of differences. I did make changes. I couldn't be bothered really once I'd done the one to redraw the whole pattern and do the underbust measurement and the big dart. I just made some slight adjustments because I just wanted to get it done. So I put in a small dart, which comes, you can see down here, you can't see it because this busy fabric and whatever. And when I cut out the straps, you cut out to the size it tells you to, but I just cut the full length out because I thought, well, I've got a bit to play with, and that's what I did. I cut it to the full size, and I kept it full size. I had the full length. Anyway, I put it on, and like I made it, even though this is my toile, which is a practice garment, I made it to the standard I could wear it. So I did French seams, I did the whole shaboodle basically, and I had a photograph in it, and it did look nice, and people have said it looks nice and everything, but I felt I loved it perfectly at the back, but at the front I did feel like, I know this is partly to do with the straps, but I'd put the waist where I should have anyway, like the waistline. It was a little bit low. I felt like I'd got a little bit too much on show. Maybe if I put it on, maybe I'd be able to hoist it up a little bit and let it drop at the back, I don't know. And also, I normally now do a back adjustment. I take a wedge out the back. The wedge is quite big normally, and again, because I thought this is going to be floaty fabric and it's going to kind of skim the body, I took a small wedge out, just an inch out, so you can hardly see that, but it just means that you can't then cut your back piece on the fold. You've got to cut them out as two individual pieces and add a seam allowance and sew those together because of that extra shaping. But if you looked at the pattern that I did at a glance, you'd think that's the centre back seam. It does look quite straight, so that's how minor it was, but I did take an inch out of that side. That's totally an inch out of there, and then how did I do it? Yeah, and then I folded it. So that's that bit there. That's the bit I took out. If you can see that flappy bit there. And then you do it's like it's basically you're putting like a dart in your pattern piece, but then when you cut it out, it's just like that. So I cut out that, and the back was perfect. All I felt is I felt like I'd got a lot of top, and I felt like there was just a lot here. Like if you look at it at the side and the back, it obviously this isn't me, so you know I'm going to be a bit different. This has not got a bra on and things, but yeah, I just feel like it had a bit too much look hanging at the front. I know that could be kind of look, but however, how I plan to wear this is I'm going to wear it tucked into something high-waisted, and you know what, I will be perfectly happy. Now I have had a photograph in it, and it was late at night, and I just had a pair of jeans on, but and they're not very high. well, they're meant to be high-waisted, but they're not very high. They're not like super high on my waist. They sit a bit lower. So I haven't tried it on yet with something high-waisted, but I think I really like to wear it like that. And anyway, so, and then this one that I went to make, this one. Now, I'd run out, I used some of the foam tape, whatever it's called, around the seams. It basically replaces stay stitching. Is it yeah, not stay. Stay stitching. I'm thinking, am I getting mixed up now with another kind of stitching? I'm sorry, I didn't have a lot of sleep last night actually. My brain's been a bit slow. So sometimes with garments, when you've cut bias edges, you do a line. I think they stay stitching around before you do anything, before you sew anything together or anything. So it replaces that. But I didn't have enough to do all of it. So some places this has got it on, and some of them I've had to do the stitching. And so that was the one of the differences with this. On this one, I decided to. Have I got the pattern piece here? I haven't got it to hand. I just added 1/2 inch extra height on here. Basically, I put the extra 1/2 inch here, and then it kind of graded into where it should be on this one, and it does make a bit of a difference. If you have a look at my photographs on social media or on my blog, which will be under here, the photographs of me, you'll see there is a bit of a difference. Like, I know you can play a bit with the top, but that's where it kind of was naturally sitting. And then what I decided to do, so I still done the wedge, still done the French seams, which isn't in the pattern, but I did Frenches. And also, now you probably can't even see this really, it's so minute, but I have done a really long dart, right, from the point of the bust dart all the way down, and I've took a lot out of that actually. I've took, so with that dart, that's took out 2 inches that side, and it's took out 2 inches out. So I've actually took 4 inches out of this front bit, and it's still loose, it is. So whether I probably should have like sized down and then done a bigger dart, that's probably what I should have done really. If I was to make it all over again, maybe that's what I should have done. But you know what, it is fine, it's lovely, it looks lovely on. And I've only had a photograph of this tucked in, and it's absolutely lovely. They're not the kind of things I'd have picked up in a shop, fabric wise or shape or anything really, but making clothes pushes me out of my comfort zone a lot. That's why I kind of like it. So that's why I like having the Sew Hayley J boxes, because I don't know what's going to turn up. You only had the choice of 2 fabrics with this, so it kind of like, you know, pushes you into something you might not have done. But I've put that on this morning with some white high-waisted denim shorts, and it looked really nice. Like, you have a look at the photos and see what you think. But yeah, I'm really delighted. So I know that from what I've read with Ogden cami, there is a bit of a love-hate relationship. There's people that absolutely love it, and there's people that just don't rate it at all. Now, my guess is this: I think somebody with a very big cup size are probably going to be the ones that don't like it, and the ones maybe more, say, C cup, B cup and things, they might be the ones that like it, because they've probably fit to bust and they probably haven't got as much. Like, I might be wrong, maybe you still had a lot of fabric that's left that you didn't really want, but that's what I presume really. I think if you've got a real big difference between your butt, you know, your upper bust or lower bust compared to your bust, I think you're going to feel like you're in a tent. That's my personal opinion. So I don't know, I might be wrong, you know, I'm not going to say I'm being accurate there, but I think that might be the case for some people anyway. So anyway, up and coming plans. Now, I've always got lots of plans. I've got years worth of plans, so obviously I'm never going to tell you about all my sewing plans that I've got, but I think the things I'm going to do next, it's all about the pineapples. I'm going to make a stuffed pineapple for my son who's mad about pineapples, and I've also received pineapple fabric from Sew Hayley Jane, so I'm going to make a dress. Now I think I'm going to make the Christine Haynes Sylvie dress. You probably can't see that on here, but the Christine Haynes Sylvie dress in my pineapple fabric. That's if I've got enough. I haven't, looking at this, I think it's saying you need about, if it's a 45-inch wide, I'm going to need over 3 to 4 metres, so I might not be making it. I'll just see if it's a wide one. If it's 60 inches wide, you only need 2.5 metres, and I would have enough fabric. So yes, that would be good. So I'm going to have a bash. Whether I should make a toile really for that. Yeah, I think I'll make a toile. And see, especially for the bodice anyway, maybe not the bottom piece. And so that's going to be in pineapple fabric, make the stuffed pineapple. And I've also, I think Mandy Shaw's Secret Society is going to turn up any day soon, so that might happen if that turns up. And also the thing that I've got with my hand stitching, I've done some tracing but haven't cut anything out. I'm going to do a Christmas project, and that is it's all about the 12 days of Christmas, and I'm going to make all the for the song, all the little pieces. I'm not going to make like 12 of something and 11 of something, you know, because how the song goes. I'll probably make one of something. Maybe I'll put a little bit of a number next to it or something. So I'm going to be starting that as well soon. So so that's what I've got going on at the moment. I've managed to keep the hat on, haven't I, all the way through. So I hope you've enjoyed what I've showed you today. You know, hopefully I might have given you a bit of inspiration. Maybe you've picked up some tips if you were going to make this, or inspiration to, you know, have a look at a designer or something. So I hope you've got something from this today, and it's not quite as long as some of my other videos, and because I am aware of all the time I'm taking up. So thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll be back soon with some more makes. Thanks for watching. Bye.